Hi kittens, I'm Julie Savone, psychedelic facilitator, integration expert, and your guide for this wild ride, The Inner Trip, 365 days with plant medicine. I've helped hundreds of people use plant medicine, primarily psilocybin, to heal, expand, and step into their next level. But this year, I'm taking it even deeper. For the next 365 days, I'm bringing you with me. I'll be microdosing, journeying, integrating, and exploring what it really means to live a limitless life, with plant medicine as a tool, not a crutch. So if you're ready to feel more alive, more clear, more limitless, and you're down to do it with mushrooms and a little bit of sass, you're in the right place. Let's take the inner trip. Kittens, it's an update day. I decided that I want to come on and update my overall experiment with you today. That is my intention. So when I started this podcast in October, it was to ask the question, how can it get through a year of intentional psychedelic use, maxing out my psychedelic use? So I started a protocol with a client inside of a Limitless Woman. She was like, I don't always do great at remembering, like, to take it or not. And I was like, great, well then we'll microdose together. I'll be on the same schedule. So we are microdosing. We've been microdosing together for a week, and I had an amazing week. And I'm always being totally real, right? The question is like, how good can it get? But also just being so honest about life. So sharing also some like hard stuff that had come up for me as well. For my ladies out there, can you ever feel if you're ovulating? Let me know. Send me a message on Instagram. Let me know if if you can feel when you're ovulating, because I just realized I was. And it's kind of like an uncomfortable sensation. I wouldn't say it's as bad as a cramp, but it is a weird feeling. Also, I want to microdose with you guys today. So I am going to grab my microdosing capsule. My microdose capsule. Okay, beautiful. Here it is. And so I'm going to show you my microdosing process. I don't microdose with you on camera. Always setting my intention. I set my intention when I microdosed on camera with my EA Anna, Big Fat Banana, in that episode. But one thing that I've been doing a lot with my microdosing is to ask for ease. So my intention today is to invite ease in all that I do. My intention today is to really connect with the energy that I felt yesterday. On my drive back to Kansas City. I was in Sioux City. I was at home. It felt really good. It felt super clear and excited and aligned to work on the business. And it just felt very like lit up. And to like come back to that energy whenever I feel it like wane or dissipate. And just gratitude for all that has been like moving and grooving and going so well in life. So that's my intention. Whew. Oh, marshmallow concoction. It's my favorite thing to make. So I make bubbly water in my soda stream. It isn't wine. It probably looks like wine. I make bubbly water in my soda stream, and then I add a little bit of pomegranate juice, and I squeeze a lime in. And that is my favorite, like, little mocktail thing. Shout out to Elisa who introduced me to that. I love it. Because I really don't like bubbly water without any flavor. Even at a restaurant, I'll get club soda with lime. Okay, that was my aside. So, update on the experiment. I want to be always upfront and honest and real and start with sort of the thing that I feel like could have shifted or was just difficult, right? It has shifted. A lot has shifted, but the difficult part. So, my friend Ange was here, and I'm really excited. I'm going to have Ange come on the podcast. She's one of my best friends. She's one of my oldest friends, and I think it would be really cool to get to talk to her and have her interview me. This is someone who like has known me through so many stages of life. Like she knew me as I graduated high school, went to undergrad, went to law school, was a lawyer, and am now obviously doing what I do now. And we've had a really consistent and pervasive friendship. Not that there's never been hard times, right? But she is one of my oldest friends. And I call her my sister. So she's going to come on, but I had her come. She hadn't come to see my Kansas City house. She's the reason I have my dog Choopy. She does dog rescue. And so it was great to have her it was great to have her here and just to decompress with her. We didn't really do anything, which was amazing. She's one of those friends where I don't have to entertain her and she doesn't have to entertain me. And to just relax was beautiful. And it was also great to have her here over Valentine's Day because the last relationship I had was a challenging one. And I don't know if it was because it was Valentine's Day that sort of that was coming up for me. Cause, I haven't like, I tell people like, it's not that I'm like not over it or I'm not ready to be in another relationship, but I don't feel like I fully moved past it simply because like I haven't like given my heart to someone else, right? Since like the last person I dated. Not that I haven't dated, like I've gone out on dates with people, right? But I haven't found someone who I was really excited by yet. And so again, it's not that like I don't feel like I'm over that relationship, or like that I want to get back in that relationship, etc. It's that, or that I haven't done a lot of work around it, because I have. And I think that's part of it too, where like some stuff was coming up for me around the new year of just realizing that like I still had quite a bit of like anger during some things that had happened in the relationship. And so I had taken some time to do my own processing around that. I had done some exercises, really like, doing my own work with that person. Because I think sometimes we think that we need something from the other person in order to work through certain emotions we're having toward an experience or a relationship, whatever. And that's not true. It's nice, right? It's nice if the person can like take some accountability and, apologize and move forward, but it's not necessary. We can do that on our own. So I was doing a lot of that work and that was difficult, but I'm glad that I did it. And of course, Valentine's Day, you're just like, oh, I love love personally. I love love. And so thinking like, oh, well, it's Valentine's Day, but I don't have that Valentine. That was like a bit challenging. It wasn't like, I wouldn't say like I didn't crash out, it didn't put me in a tailspin, but it was like I was noticing those feelings and I was sitting with them and I'm meeting them when they come up. A really great book that I recommend is An Untethered Soul, and he talks a lot about like most people spend their lives orchestrating their day-to-day in their life to avoid the feeling of pain, right? So we have a feeling, like in this instance I had this feeling of, I don't even know if I'd call it loneliness. It was almost a feeling of longing, like when's it my turn, like when is my person there. And so most people would just try to avoid it. They try to numb out or they try to distract themselves in some way. They avoid, right? But instead, I meet the feeling there. I can meet it. I can experience the pain. And when you're not afraid of feeling pain, when you can feel the pain as it comes up and process it in the moment, you actually become free. And when you stop identifying so much with your thoughts, right, you become free. When you can realize you are the observer of your thought, you are not the thought itself. So going through some of those exercises and just meeting the feelings as they come up, not being afraid of them, not making them wrong, not needing them to be different, simply observing them and experiencing them as they were there gave me a lot of freedom and a lot of movement. And I think it allowed for what unfolded. So I had a great week last week. I am so happy to be back microdosing. I love the women inside Limitless Woman. Let's just get into it. Okay, so last week I went home. I went home to Sioux City because, well, a couple of things. The fun one was I only let one woman do my hair. I only let one woman do my hair. One time, this woman that I thought we had a great relationship gave me bangs. I did not ask for the bangs. She clearly thought that I did. There was a miscommunication, but holy, I'm not made for bangs. My hair is not made for bangs. They require some daily maintenance and stuff that I will not do. So I went home to get my hair done by the only woman that I allowed to do it, which is great, right? Also got my nails done. Beautiful. Love this one woman who does nails in Sioux City. And I also went home because the 26th was the 27th anniversary of my dad passing. Very hard day for me. He died when I was 6. And so, it's just nice to be home. It's nice to be home. It's nice to be with my mom on that day. My mom lives in the same house that she's lived in my entire life. It's the only place that I remember my dad. And I didn't have that luxury when I was in California. Like, I guess I could have planned a trip, but really I went back to Sioux City because it is a bit of a schlep. Twice a year. I went for Christmas, and then I would go for like a week in the summer. And that was pretty much it. Because it is like it's a whole to do. It's not like nearby. I have to get someone for my cats, etc. Okay, so now having the freedom to like kind of go home whenever I want. It's only a 4-hour drive. I put all the animals in the car. And I'm just like, okay, I'm coming. It's very nice. And I love being back in the Midwest. I love the seasons. Like I feel like we're right on the precipice of spring here. And that makes me really excited. It's going to be a rainy week. I'm hoping that March showers bring April flowers this year. And so to have that ability to go home really made my heart happy because I haven't been able to spend that day with my mom or at home in years. And I honor it in my own way, regardless of where I'm at. But it was really great to be home. So that was a good feeling, just in general. Like, okay, I'm going to be home for this date. And the way everything unfolded last week just gave me such a beautiful gift, which was I don't know the last time that I have really like given myself permission in a longer sense to like not work on my business. So a few years ago, I went to South America with my friend Ange for 3 weeks. But man, like I was still doing all the things. Not was I only working in my business, so like with my clients, etc. But I was working on my business. I was like, selling every day, sending out my emails, all the stories, like la 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 la. I was selling, right? I was working on my business. I was doing these things that you do when you have a business. And I've done that for every trip that I've been on, basically. I don't know a trip where I've really given myself the time to not. But a few things happened last week, and I feel like it's really from this process of me aligning and from really staying true to myself and what I know works for me in my business that allowed me to not really work on my business last week. I worked in my business. So, like, of course, I had client calls. I had a few sales calls as well. Um, yeah, like forward sales calls, which was great. But I wasn't like getting on my stories religiously selling. I wasn't even really making content. That was the only thing that just kind of like serendipitously aligned because this podcast that I was on produced 6 pieces of content last week. And so I was like, oh, I basically almost have a full week of content without me doing anything. She was putting out a post every single day and I was like, wow, like this is crazy. Like that is a big part of my day. Usually that's a couple hours of content, right? Um, and I had someone who, it was so interesting how this all worked. I'm so glad that I decided to trust myself and I decided to listen to myself above all else. Like, for instance, I work with a business coach. I had her on the podcast, Rachel Spencer. She's amazing. And, she'll like give me suggestions and I come to her for hook frameworks and all sorts of things. And ultimately, like, I trust myself at the end of the day and I trust what feels good and what doesn't. So she throws things out there sometimes and I'm like, nope, not for me. Right? Like in my Limitless Woman launch, she was like, well, what do we think about kind of like throwing a masterclass in here? I was like, nope, I hate masterclasses. I'm not doing that. And I'm very firm in what I want to do and what I don't want to do because I got so burnt out last year, right? Following all these people and what they said I needed and shalala. And so now I really like, it's not a matter of laziness. And I want to come back to this intention that I sent at the very beginning of the call around ease. I think we have misequated in this life, in this current moment in time in Western culture, ease and laziness. So just because something is easeful doesn't mean that like you don't have to do anything or that it's about being lazy. Like you can work hard and have it still be easeful. Or maybe it's not even working hard. Hard implies a difficulty in the process. But I can work diligently and still have it be easeful. It just means that things are flowing, right? Like if it feels easy, it means I'm feeling excited about it. I'm feeling no resistance to it. I'm showing up and putting in the work. And so I like inviting more ease into my life. And that doesn't mean I'm lazy or I'm not working. It just means that I'm not struggling to do the work. So this idea of ease and letting ease be sort of my guide and my nervous system be my guide after I got back regulated and my intuition being my guide and really living my life by my human design. I am a splenic projector. So for me, my strategy, right, is to, or my authority, my strategy. Now I'm getting a little confused with the words, but it's very intuitive. It's in the moment, like my yeses and my nos. And so just letting them be enough. So I had this little intuitive twinkle a couple weeks ago, my podcast with Lori and Chris Harder. So both on the Earn Your Happy and on the Chris Harder show dropped. And that always brings me a big influx of people, of followers, etc. Because I've been on the podcast twice now and it is a big, like, it's a big show to be on, right? Lori's podcast is the top 25 entrepreneurial podcast. And so I thought, okay, even though doors are technically closed to Limitless Woman, I'm going to put my application back in my bio and we'll just see, right? Maybe they'll be like, I'm not at capacity would be 10 women. Because I cut it off there and I was like, okay, we'll just see. And so I put it in there and I get this application. And so when I get on the call with the woman, I'm like, oh, did we connect through the podcast, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, no, actually, I was just searching for microdosing. I was actually looking for someone else, but I found you on Instagram through my search on microdosing. I saw your content about the program and I applied. Turns out this woman is a perfect fit. Like, could not be more perfect. Everything that she said, I was just like, wow. So definitely a late minute entry. But we technically start this week because everything that's been happening so far, there was like a bonus call for people who joined at a certain time around human design. There was like a business inventory with people because I wanted to hit the ground running. I don't want to feel like we were wasting so much time in the initial part, like of you telling me about your business or your career, whatever it was, right? And so this is the first like week of actual calls, and we're doing one with my chief wealth officer. He's coming in to kind of look at and like spotlight people, different like issues in people's business, and not issues, gaps, things we can tighten up, right? And I was like, okay, perfect. If you don't mind rush ordering these capsules, like, let's freaking go. Come and join. And I was just like, wow, this is so crazy. Oh, and then, in January, I 4X'd my income in 2026 as compared to 2025. And I really didn't want to be attached to that. I was like, it would be cool if this continued, but like, I don't need it to happen. I am okay if it doesn't happen. It doesn't mean anything about me, blah, blah, blah. But of course, I was like, I would love if I 4X'd it again in February to February. And I did! And I exceeded it. I exceeded it. Yeah. So that felt really good. It was like, wow, okay, so March. And then, I don't know, all these things happen. Like this woman listened to a podcast and she's coming on the Vermont retreat. One of my one-on-one clients this morning was like, I'm signing up for the Lake Tahoe retreat. Send me that link. And it's just like things are feeling easier. Because here's the thing, like I put in the work. I talk about my retreats. I create content about retreats. I obviously host and facilitate great experiences for the retreat. I like show up and really, talk about my retreats in a way that obviously is compelling to people. I do all these things about retreats, right? Or about my business in general. I've always been doing the work. I haven't always felt like I've been seeing the return in the work. Let's say that. I've never felt like and no one, I don't think in my life would be like, oh yeah, no, she doesn't try at her business or she doesn't put in effort. It's just the effort has felt hard. And now I'm inviting in more ease and the ease is flowing. And so it's like, this feels good. This feels really good. And I don't know. I was kind of like not sure if I wanted to share this because I think sometimes we hear in this world like keep your desires or whatever close to your heart because sharing that with people, it's like you're opening yourself up to their energy. And here's the thing. I don't believe that someone listening to this podcast would want me to not be happy. Maybe you are listening just out of spite or because you hate me and you're like judging me the whole way through. And I guess like that says more about you than it does about me, I would think. So even if you hear this and you're like, I hope she doesn't get that. I don't know. I just don't believe that energy is going to negatively impact my intention because my intention, well, it's mine. I am the creator of my own reality, not you. And I just believe the force of love and goodness and spreading that to other people is more impactful than someone's mean feeling or judgment or desire that it doesn't happen for me. So I set this intention. I'm really open for love. I'm ready for my partner. I want my person. And it feels exciting. It feels good. I've done, again, like I said, I've done a lot of work. Even thinking about my ex, I've done a lot of work around that relationship, taking accountability for my shit too. Because here's the thing, if you're really going to do the work, it's probably going to leave you feeling uncomfortable about yourself. Because it takes two to tango in every relationship. And so I did this exercise. It's like a breakthrough exercise where basically you list out all these characteristics about the person. It could be a friend, a partner, a mom, right? Like a familial relation, whatever. So things you like, characteristics you don't like. And then here's the uncomfortable part. You have to look at the two columns of characteristics and you look at the ways that the things you don't like, how they benefited you. And usually the ways that the things you don't like and how they benefited you are very, let's just say it's very confrontational to yourself. So for instance, right, I wrote down that my ex had some qualities I didn't love, like selfishness, I thought, emotionally unavailable, angry, like up and down emotionally. And I realized that being in that relationship sometimes allowed me to feel superior about myself. And it allowed me to avoid responsibility for our relationship because I just blamed things on him. Because of course it was his fault, right? He had all these bad qualities or qualities that I didn't necessarily love, right? And sometimes it allowed me to feel like the savior because I was like rescuing him. So if I'm like being really honest about this, as people you have to be if you're willing to do this work, there are some like that shone a spotlight on me, right? And some things that that's not a part of me that I find very cute. And that's not a part of me that I want to carry into relationships. I don't want to continue the savior dynamic. I don't want to avoid responsibility for a relationship. I don't want to feel emotionally superior in a relationship. Like, of course, there's some part of me that does want it, because wanting is evidence of having. Wait, having is evidence of wanting, right? Like, I'm creating in my life, I'm inviting into my life, I'm tolerating it. So there's something about me that does want that. But now that I can see that it's there, I know ultimately my conscious self can choose, no, I actually want a relationship that feels equal. I want a relationship that I just have a bunch of gratitude for. I want a relationship where like there's a mutual reciprocity of support. And so now I can see that those parts are there. The part of me that like wants to feel like the savior, the part of me that doesn't want to like have to take responsibility for the relationship. And I can work on that in the meantime, so that when I enter my next relationship, I can do so from a much healthier place. So yeah, I've been doing the work around, that's all to say, I've been doing work around myself in relationships and romantic relationships, and I'm ready. I want my person. So that was what my intention was around for this new protocol. And I'm feeling good. Man, I mean, just even thinking about like not really working on my business last week and working in my business and like having more time to enjoy like just being with my mom. I mean, normally the morning that I leave, it's crazy and I'm like running all over the place and blah, blah, blah. But like I took a couple hours the day before to like get everything set up and get my car mostly packed and get everything like organized. That was great. I just had more time to spend with my mom in general. We went on this little adventure. Long story short, I like to commit some minor trespass. I don't ever like break into someone's house. I just like to, we live around a lot of land. We have a lot of land. And so, boundaries. What is a freaking fence, right? What is a border, a frontera? I read a whole book in undergrad about fronteras, about borders, right? And like, well, I was a Latin American studies major, and like borders are dumb. Let's just say that. They're artificial boundaries we create in the I mean, some boundaries are physical, like the Rio Grande is a real river, right? That not bisects, but delineates Mexico from the United States. But mostly they're just made up. And so I think about land, like plot lines and things. I'm like, come on. So whatever. I usually commit some minor trespass when I'm home. I walk around different fields and hop fences, and it's fine. I have a good time. But my mom was finally down for it one time we went on a walk, and it was such a cool adventure we had. She's very straight-laced. Like, if I stole something, I don't know. I stole a sticker book one time at a Hello Kitty store in Mall of America. Please don't come and arrest me. Eek! Anyway, but if I had stolen something and she would have found it, she would have, like, made me go return it. And if I, for whatever reason, would have refused, she would have gone and returned it. Like, she's not about this life. So that was fun to, like, have a little adventure with her. And again, we didn't do anything bad. We just, like, walked on someone else's land. We didn't, like, enter someone's house or steal anything. We walked on their land. We didn't touch anything. But anyway, I like that. I love being in the land. I'm very much a little, like, prairie fairy. My original IG handle before I changed it to Julie Savone was Prairie Mermaid. So, yeah. I'm feeling good. Can you tell? I'm feeling excited. I'm feeling happy. God, the income thing, the feeling so good about having time at home, being able to take more space away from my business. I'm starting to travel really soon. Oh, there were a couple little things where like the situation that I didn't actually really feel like I wanted to go to anymore. It got really convoluted. And so I ended up asking for a refund and they gave it. Which kind of cleared up so I don't feel like I have to feel so condensed in travel. I have trips coming up. I'm going to the Caribbean with my lawyer lady friends. They're still practicing. I have my Mexico retreat coming up. Oh, there are still some spots left for Mexico. If you're listening to this and you're like, I was interested in Mexico, I want to come to Mexico, DM me Mexico, or the application for my retreats are in my bio. I'll drop them in the show notes as well. Yeah. I'm feeling so good, you guys. I'm so happy you're here on this journey with me. We're I guess in a month we'll be halfway through. So I feel like we're on a really great trajectory. I think I'm gonna get a new car. Oh my gosh. All right, guys. What I want you to do is, for your integration, is to invite ease into your life. I want you to make a conscientious effort to invite ease into your life. Set an intention. I don't care if you're microdosing or not. Just set an intention when you wake up tomorrow. Like, I'm inviting more ease into my life. I'm inviting more ease into my life around whatever situation, X, Y, Z. Got to follow your heart on that one or whatever's coming up for you. But do it. You'll love it. It'll change your life. Okay. Until next time. Bye, Ken. That's the end of today's trip. But remember, the real magic has always been inside of you. If this episode landed, send it to a friend who's ready to step into their next level. And make sure you're following the show so you never miss a dose. I'll be back again soon with another day on the path to your most limitless life. And until then, trust yourself, follow your intuition, and keep asking, how good can it get?